Hello, this is Blender Helper. We're going to go over the actuators today. In this episode and next episode, we're going to cover the properties, and then we're going to make a little game to show how the properties work. So we're not going to go over all actuators in this episode, but we're going to make you so you can understand actuators. So what an actuator is you can think of it as the act or the action that happens when the sensor is triggered. Let's say, for example, we think about it as you trigger a laser laser wire, or laser trigger, and an alarm goes off. That's an action. So another one would be rolling a ball, and the ball is bouncing. That's an action, or any way you want to think about it. So this is an action that happens when you trigger a sensor. Now, let's go over some of the sensors we have here. Oh, actuators, my bad. So we got our player, and we got our plane. That's going to be our terrain for now. Now, we covered a little bit on the actuators, not very much of it. I don't think we covered, actually I don't remember, I don't think we covered any of that at all so far. So we're just going to look about it. So we got visibility, which is pretty much you make an object visible or invisible, depending on where you have it. Sound, which is basically adding a sound to the game. Steering is more of a navigation mesh. We'll probably go over that later, so I can get more understanding what that is. So it won't be this episode we're going over the steering, because that involves navigation mesh, which is AI for your enemies in that. A scene, which is changing from level 1 to 2, having a health bar and everything like that. It's just an overlay scene for your stuff. Random. Oops. Random. I will go over this in later episodes. It's hard to explain now. But it's like setting different seeds and make it so it reacts in a certain pattern. I'll explain that later in a different episode. Properties. We're going to go over that in the next episode, so we're not going to worry about that. Parent. It's like, Control P on your message, but you can do that as a game logic. So basically, if you collide with say you have a box, you collide with the box, and then you can parent those two, so it attaches to your player, and you can it looks like you're carrying it, and that's how you use it to throw at stuff, pick up stuff. Motion, obviously self-explanatory, moving on the X, Y, or Z coordinates. Mouse is obviously has to do with the mouse. The mouse is visibility of the mouse. Look at that. So you can make the mouse invisible or visible. That's So let's look at this. Just out of curiosity. I don't think I've seen this actuator. Oh, I control the sensitivity of the mouse. Looks like, yeah. That's interesting. I'll keep that in mind. So if you do visibility, yep, I can see my mouse. Alright, that's something new. Anyways, go more of the actuators here. Got message, which we covered in the properties lesson as well. It's more easy because it actually has some of the messages, actuator and sensors are in the tutorial I'm going to create, or in the game itself. Game is like saving, loading, restarting. I'm going to do more research in that before I start. See if there's a way possibly to save and load your game, just your logic bricks itself. 2D filter is just like many different things. You get motion in that, blurriness, colors, grayscale. It's just a little stuff you can add to your game that makes it a little more, like you can make it darker, or just have a little more touch to it. This one I have not seen, but looks like constrains some of the movement. Constraint. Yeah, kind of looks like it. So I don't know much about that. So that's a new one too. And then we got camera, which is you can lock a camera to a certain object. And then we got action, which is doing it like if you're going to do gear, not necessarily gears, not good, like falling trapdoors would be a good example. It's like an animation that you can put into the game logic. Okay, so we're not going to cover all of these, but it's visibility. I'm going to show you how that works. So basically, like I said, you can trigger if it's visible or invisible. So if I unclick visible, click P, it keeps going. Well, it's invisible. Now if I just click it back, it's visible again. So that's simply that. And these two, I will do a separate tutorial for that sometime. Sound, just add in a sound. Let's see, game tools, sound effects, music. This is not what it sounds like, but this is just, ouch. Music for one of my games. I don't know why they named it that, but it's like, ouch, it still hurts. Turn that down a little bit more. Wow, you get the point. It's you want to say it's more of a, I don't know, techno kind of thing, techno soundtrack. Or say you wanted to add farewell. Or I can't even say the name, but anyways, you can add different soundtracks to your game. Let's see. Let's see. Screen, go over another scene. Again, we'll probably go over that in the next tutorial. Random, covering a different tutorial. Property, covering a different tutorial. Parent, that'll be in a later tutorial. Motion, if I've not shown you this, it should be pretty simple. So, good hint to tell you where you're at. Right down here, you can see there's Y, X, and Z. By looking at this, you can tell that we're facing the Y direction positive. So if you want to move it on the X-axis positive, you just go up one. So it's always going to move in that direction. So it shows that the red line is going to point into the positive direction. Let's see what else we got. Motion, mouse, message, game. Most of these are uncovered, but basically what I want to make you guys understand, it's just simply an action. Most of these are covered in different tutorials, so keep that in mind. So just go over this a little bit more in the motion one. This is probably the last thing I'm trying to cover today, anyways. So just think about this: if you're rotating, because down here is rotation, it's this location. So if you're going to rotate the cube on the x-axis, it's going to rotate this direction. Now, if the y-axis is going to rotate this direction, and Z, obviously this direction. Now, let's think of. And if you're making a ball game, it's like rolling, you probably want to make it so it's at the location specific. So it's not a set. It's a set location still, just on the object itself. Where it's facing is the direction. The best way to find that, okay, let's just say this is going this way, and it gets rotated. That be facing this direction. That'd be the x-axis now, and then you'd be going this direction instead of going to the side. But if you lock the location and the rotation, it's going to continue going this way, and it's going to continually rotate the direction we have it. And I think, and there's stereo, which character motion, that's new. So I guess I'll research more on that and let you guys know about that. I didn't know there's a character motion. So anyways, that'll be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know. This is Blender Helper.